Hey, we're back. It's DAP day 30 something or other. I'm not keeping track of the days except for when I measure every 10 days. I think DAP 40 is going to be next Sunday. I think that's it. Pumpkin's still growing. As you can see, it's visibly larger than when I measured it the other day. I still have to move it forward. I'm going to have to do that later today. But the vine looks good. There's no... Yeah, I cut some leaves off right down here because they were getting trampled on anyhow. Yeah, the vine looks good in there. Stem looks good. Yeah, a little something in there. Got a little split right there. Let's spray that. So I put my stuff right over here. A split right there where that stem is, that's I think that's pretty common. Nothing really to do about that except oh, look what I found. What's this? That's an old hose end coupler. I don't even know where that came from. How'd that end up? I must have dug that up while I was covering some vines or something. All right, so we got a little squirt bottle with rubbing alcohol in it. It's almost empty. I need to refill it. Anyway, we'll go ahead and spray that right there. We actually have a soft spot right here too. We're going to spray that. We just want those areas to dry up, so that doesn't like rot, doesn't like do like a progressive rot thing. We're going to keep an eye on those two spots because those are areas where it opened up there. I might, yeah, keep an eye on that. Maybe I might have to cut away a little bit of it if it continues. We'll take a look at it tomorrow. I was warned about that by Strickler going from 30 to 40. He said you want to be on the lookout for some vine or some stem splitting and tend to it when it happens. So yeah, we got that scouted out. I'm gonna put this down here. I'm gonna put some Azos, and I'm gonna bury or cover, not necessarily bury completely, but cover this vine right here, portions of this one, just anywhere where I can get the shovel in there and get some dirt over the top of the nodes. Every little bit helps there. Of course, here on this end, like what happened here. Now, some of this stuff that happened with the leaves is my fault. I think when I go in to cut with the scissors, sometimes the scissors catch the leaves too, and I think that's what happened on that one. But as you can see here, these, especially these first two secondaries that came down the middle here, were very strong growing and very aggressive. And then when I lopped them off, holy smoke, did these leaves blowed up. So look at this. I mean, these leaves are, especially this one right here, that one right there, that's too big. That's too big of a leaf. But that's to be expected on this end of the vine where I lopped it off. The other parts of the plant, the leaves are just normal size, no big deal. That's just some growth bloat, I guess. I really don't think there's excess nitrogen in here. I'm not watering. Every time I water, I'm not watering with nitrogen or any other sort of fertilizer. I only do that a couple times a week. I know some growers will do that every time they water, but I'm not doing that. I don't want to blow this thing up, because a lot of guys are getting splits because they're trying to grow them real fast. This is my only fruit, so I'm not going to take the risk. I already know as a first year grower, I'm doing pretty well. So let's not push our luck here. This is really nice here. I had 3 secondaries coming out after the fruit on the main vine. We've got these 3 growing out here. I'm going to let these go for a little bit, even into the grass. Just because because the fruit is only about, I would say, 9 or 10 feet from the crown, there aren't quite as many secondaries behind it as other growers would have. So I'm letting some come out here and a few come out over there. And then on top of that, when this one here on the end starts throwing tertiaries, I'll probably allow that. Like right here, we got that. This is one right. Well, this might actually be a secondary that got stunted because it was just covered by the other ones. Anyway, I'm going to let that grow out here. There's kind of a puny secondary coming down here. I'm going to leave it. Here's a secondary coming down here. We'll probably kind of move these a little bit closer to the other one. Although these leaves are very big and they'll end up getting shaded if it's too close. Here's a tertiary coming off the end of this one. So if one of these strong ones wants to continue growing, I'll let it. Through a tertiary, we'll just come down the side right here and do it that way. And then, like I said, we'll let some tertiaries come off on this side. I think continuing to let the plant grow in this particular case is going to be not a bad idea. I think we need it. A lot of growers have plants that are a little bit bigger than this, and they're growing some big pumpkins. So I'm thinking, let's let it grow. Let's get some more leaves out there, a little more horsepower maybe. The pumpkin is still growing. I'm not really concerned about the pumpkin slowing down because it's still growing what seems to be at a pretty good pace. I don't know what DAP 40 is going to bring for us, but I know it's going to be good because, it's still growing. Yeah, so let's see. We'll check in a few days. Maybe we'll check in tomorrow to see how our little splits are going over here and see if we get those fixed. All right, folks, we're at DAP 40. Boy, look at this thing. It just keeps getting bigger. I measured it. It looks like the OTT measurement was 321 for an estimated weight of 762 pounds, which is about what I expected, somewhere between 700 and 800. Now, if it's heavy, like 10% heavy, or even even less than that, then it would actually weigh over 800. So, and I have indications that it's heavy. I've been told Strickler, who grew the 1739, I told him about this cantalouping here. He said that's an indication that this one's going heavy because that's what the 1739 did. So we got that. It's still the color is interesting. It's like pale orange, not pale yellow. So still growing. We got some of that same marking over here with that going on. Now, if you do the math, in the last 10 days, it's averaged 31 pounds a day, which is the same as DAP 20 to DAP 30, which is interesting. It's been linear. It hasn't sped up. And some of that might be due to, I don't know, I may not have watered it enough. We probably need to ramp up the watering here and make sure we get that covered. It was supposed to rain here last night, and it didn't. It's supposed to rain today, and so far it hasn't, although it's kind of sprinkled a little bit. So I think from now on, regardless of what the forecast says, because this time of year they never get it right, I think I'm just going to have to water probably close to 50 gallons over the entirety of the plant. Also, it's slightly concerning here. The leaves have these little yellow speckles showing up in a lot of places. I don't know. I'm thinking that might be some sort of particular nutrient deficiency, maybe a micronutrient deficiency. So I don't know. We'll check in on that, see if there's anything I can do about it. I'm not sure that there is, honestly, but we've got Oh boy, we got another month, at least another month of growing. So, yeah, I mean, could be more than that if I can keep it going. So, we'll see how it goes.